Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Carlos, and thank you for tuning in to the Water Bearer podcast. So this is episode 8, and we only have 2 more episodes after this for season 4, and just a little sneak peek of how I'm going to do things for season 5. So this episode, as you know, is pre-recorded. We're not live tonight, but I'm going to do a mix-up of pre-recorded and live episodes for next season on purpose. So basically, the season opener and the closer will be live, and then the episodes in between will be pre-recorded. So I think that'll work out better time-wise. And listen, I'm telling y'all, okay, so this, every time I do one of these shows, a lot of times that y'all don't see, there's a little bit of pre-conversation in the back room. And this one has been one for the books because Chasity and I were just chopping it up before we hit record, and I kind of wish we could have had that as like a little mini episode because we really got a chance to talk about music, and I'll get a chance to, or you all get a chance to definitely see her here in a moment, and I'll let her introduce herself. But before we get into that, just a couple of preliminary things I want to get out the way. If you've not already done so, please join the Drip family. In other words, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you don't mind. So we definitely seen some really good growth, this year. And just really looking forward to continuing to grow. And make sure when you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so that whether we go live or it's recorded, you get notified every time something comes up on the channel. Also, you can catch the Drip every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And for social media, you can follow me on IG at Poetic. It's P-E-A-U-X-E-T-I-C, or TikTok at P-E-A-U-X-E-T-I-C with the number 7 at the end. You can also follow Chasity on IG at CBuck08, and on Facebook at Chasity Buckley, and that's B-U-C-K-L-E-Y. So Chasity, I feel like there's moments where you meet people where it's a destined thing, like it's just meant to be that you meet certain people. So how I came in contact with Chasity is Eric Seats, who I interviewed last season. He's a Cancer, so if y'all get a chance, go back and check out that episode. We actually had to reschedule because there's an episode of me by myself because he had some flight issues and things like that. So then that next week we rescheduled it. So when I posted it, Chasity and I were just kind of going back and forth and things like that. And I hadn't talked to Eric in a few years because I used to do like blog posts and interviews for this. Well, I won't say the name of the site, but it was a website that would do kind of like entertainment type reviews and things like that. And so I would go out and find artists and people like that to interview. So we did an audio interview. That was our first time doing a video interview, after years later. And we and Chasity just hit it off because she started talking about music and we were agreeing on a lot of things. And then even tonight, like we were talking about some unpopular opinions about what certain people think of when it comes to music and people's best albums and all that kind of stuff. And so I watched her interview that she did with Eric Seats on her channel, and I'll let her talk about that too, her YouTube channel, Midnight R&B Edition. So if y'all not subscribed, make sure you go out and do that. And then recently she interviewed one of the producers, a song called My Life, TLC, my favorite girl group, hands down. And I love that interview. So she interviewed Carl Solo, and I even learned some new things about TLC with that. And she interviewed John B, Coco. So she's interviewed some heavy hitters. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring her in so we can get this conversation started. Hey, what's up, Chasity?
Hey, how you doing? I just love that introduction. It just made my heart flutter. Thank you.
Hey, I'm glad. Hey, you deserve it. You deserve it. And so before we get started, is there anything that you want to add to that or anything I may have left off for the viewers and the listeners?
I appreciate, thank you for the beautiful introduction. My name is Chasity Buckley, like you said. I am an up and coming doctoral student at the moment at
That's
Liberty
awesome.
University. That'll be coming soon in the fall, but right now I'm in the toss up, so I may be trying to go to another school, but we're gonna hold on to that. But I am pursuing my doctoral degree in educational leadership.
Okay.
Super excited about that for 2024. So I'm excited. I'll be the first in my family to get my doctorate. Also,
awesome.
yes, also that with that being said, I am a member of the illustrious First Black Greek Sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Hey, so right.
5 chapter, exactly 5 chapter, and it's amazing this year. This year, my chapter is making the centennial year, so 100 years. My chapter has been established in December. I'm super excited. Yeah, so I'm officially now. I can say I'm officially a centennial, aka in my chapter.
Yeah. Because it's one thing to say centennial for the organization,
correct,
but as a chapter, it's not too many chapters that can say that.
No, and so for me alone by myself, I'm super excited just to have my chapter be 100 years old in Marshall, Texas. You know, that little small town. Just go to show you that we made a huge impact, and I'm super excited about that. I guess another thing about me is I'm an educator as well. Currently I'm a substitute teacher, but I am in the process of becoming a teacher, or also maybe working at the university. So I work with kids. I work with all levels, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th. I mean, Miss Buckley's all over the place, so that's what they call me, Miss Buckley or Miss Buckley.
Right.
Yeah. So other than that, that's pretty much about it. But I think I'm so excited for the year 2024. I'm doing some other things too. I'm kind of in and out of my show. I know you had mentioned Midnight R&B Edition. I used to have a page, and I no longer have it anymore. I'm doing some personal stuff, but like you said, I am on YouTube. I may be doing an up and coming interview on a big album. Fingers crossed. I don't want to say too much about it. I'm gonna keep that fingers crossed, but it's 2 people that I'm excited about, an album that I'm gonna honor next month. That I'm making 25 years. So be on the lookout for that.
Nice. Okay, that's what's up. Well, yes, I'm happy to have you here. Of course, you're welcome. And so in true Water Bear fashion, I always start off the show and I'll say a famous Aquarius and a famous person of the guest of my show, their sign. And then also, before we get into that, if you don't mind sharing your birthday with the viewers and the listeners.
Well, yes, I am August 1st, 1989. I'm a Leo.
Leo, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. I will say this. I love Leos. I have a lot of Leos in my family. I have Leo friends. I don't know if you know the rest of your big three, like the moon and the sun. I mean,
I do.
Not the sun. You do?
Yes, I do.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm interested. Okay, so my moon and my rising are both Leo.
That's amazing. I never heard that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, I had not either. Yes, I'm an Aquarius sun, but Leo, moon, and rising. And so when I found that out, I was like, dang, am I more Leo then and then I am Aquarius? You know, I don't know. But that's interesting. So what's your moon and rising?
Well, my moon is Leo, so you're my Leo moon brother.
Hey, okay.
And my rising is Scorpio, which I was very upset. No shade to the Scorpios out there. Let me say something. I am not a Scorpio. Not saying a fan, but I don't really like. I've heard they're kind of crazy in some type of way. I don't want to throw them a damper, but my mom, I remember this, and it's gonna make people laugh. I don't want them to think I'm like crazy or nothing. But I remember my mom was telling me, I don't know if she dated Scorpios or what, but when she was like 9 or 10 years old, she said, Chasity, if you ever date anybody, don't you ever date a Scorpio. And I just took that with me. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna date a Scorpio. I don't want a Scorpio. No Scorpios.
Oh, really?
I would say, I think during the pandemic, I don't know why I was at my job and we were always talking about, like, you know, we always want to look up our chart.
Right.
So I just knew up and down I was going to be Leo. Baby, when we did that chart and I seen that Scorpio, my heart jumped. I said, I know this is a lie. And I know I don't like Scorpio, so where did this come from? So when I found out I was a Scorpio, I said somebody making this up. And when I seen, like, the description of it, I was like, oh my God, really, God, did you have to do this? I'm like, okay. So I guess that's what it was. But yeah, Scorpio is my rising. But it makes sense on why that Scorpio, I have that in my chart.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. And you know, the funny thing about it is, I don't know how it is for a Scorpio rising, but I know for Leo moon and Leo rising, the definitions or I shouldn't say definitions, the characteristics that I read, they were a little different from what I expected because it wasn't like what we know of a sun sign Leo to be. It was a little different. Yeah. So maybe Scorpio, maybe it's kind of the same way, like maybe a little different on the moon and rising side.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, right. And I'm sorry, I mean to cut you out, but I know Carlos, for what I know, they say that like the sun is what people see of you, but like the moon is like what you want people to see of you. Like people see your sun, like obviously you're Aquarius, but the moon is supposed to be what people exude you as. But then it's like your rising is like the hidden side. So I was like, what? And it's like what people don't know of you. So I was like, okay, that's very interesting. So when people see you, they see your Leo moon, they see the Leo, and that's when they like first meet you. And I think that like that rising is like the core, the inner core. That's what they call it, the inner core. That's what it is, the inner core of who you are inside.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, that makes sense because, you know, I have them like Scorpios are very mysterious. So I do have a mysterious side. Like, yeah, don't play me because you will get burned. But for the most part, I know for sure. My favorite artist, she's a Leo Moon, Brandy. So I had no idea. She's Aquarius. Like, I was like, oh my God.
I didn't know she was a Leo Moon.
Yeah, she's a Leo Moon. I looked at her chart. I said, oh yeah, she's that.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. I never knew that. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And it's interesting because Aquarius and like Leos, it's weird because everybody I grew up with, a lot of my Leo women that I know, they marry Aquarius men. I thought it was interesting.
Really?
Yes. Oh,
wow.
I've known this since 30 years. Yes.
You know what? So you just see, and this is why, like I said, I wish I had hit record from the beginning because I know, because I feel like if I say who they are giving away, I know a local pastor and first lady. I'll just leave it at that. And the pastor is an Aquarius like me, and his wife is a Leo.
Yeah. And my cousin is an Aquarius, his wife is a Leo, and they've been married for this year would be 30 years.
Wow.
I've met so many Aquarius men that are married to Leo women. It's not even funny.
Wow. Yeah.
They are really like a connection.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've read a lot that it's supposed to be a good connection between those two signs, which I can see that. Yeah, I can see definitely like very good compatibility there for sure.
Whitney and Bobby, so I mean, hey, look.
Yeah, as volatile as it was, and you can't deny they had a chemistry.
They did. Oh yeah.
They
definitely
did.
For sure.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, I forgot about them.
And people think Whitney was just like some next girl next door. Okay, no, indeed.
No, she was. Yeah, because it came out after her death that it was like a lot of that stuff she was already doing before she got with Bobby. But because of her image, people just assumed, oh, he got her into this and got her into that.
Yeah, and it wasn't like and when it wasn't even like that. I think the thing about it, people didn't think that Whitney couldn't have her own like thing. And I think it wasn't even just so much Whitney. I think it was Bobby. People felt like that Bobby wasn't like the guy to have his own. I'm like, excuse me, y'all. Did y'all know Don't Be Cruel? He was really running things.
Like, the early 90s, he was killing it. R&B. Yeah,
but people don't understand that at the end of the day is like Bobby held his own before he got with Whitney. So he had the same power she did. It's just once she did I Will Always Love You, she just
that just took off. Yeah.
So it is what it is. But that's the connection of like Aquarius and Leos, I know for sure.
Leo. Yeah, I agree. That's what's up. Okay. Oh, well, famous funny you mentioned it. So a famous Aquarius, Ashton Kutcher, but the famous Leo, and I didn't know who you were gonna say, but I already had this written down before we started. So famous Leo, Whitney Houston was the person I wrote down. So,
my girl.
yes. And so, one thing I'm definitely curious to know your answer on this. So I know you're August Leo. Do you think there's a difference between the July and the August Leos?
In some type of way, I think yes, because I know me as an August Leo. I know, you know what's crazy? I know a lot more August Leos than I do July Leos, But then again, I can't say it anymore because my goddaughter, she just had a baby 2 years ago. So now she's my July Leo. So I think I got my baby. So I can't really get on these July Leos like I used to because now my baby, she's a Leo. So I'm like, oh Lord, you really had to give me that. But so I would say with August Leos, I know a lot of August Leos, I guess, in my personal opinion, to be like more dominant in so many ways because we have a lot of like hardworking, dedicated Leos that are born in the month of August. I don't see too much in the month of July. And it's not no shade or nothing like that. I know Michelle Williams from Destiny Child, she's a July Leo. I kind of see a little bit in her, but you don't really see the dominance in a July Leo. I mean, she's obviously a Leo. Jennifer Lopez is a Leo too, that born in the month of July. But you don't really see, I'm not saying there's star power, but they don't really put it out there on the forefront versus with an August Leo. We're more kind of head forward, straightforward to like it is. I think we exude the appearance of coming out to, doing our own thing for August Leo versus July. July, I think, is more, I wouldn't even say passive. They're more just like they only show it when it's time to show it. But I think with August, they show it when they want to and they don't care. I think that's
I can see that. And I know it's funny you say that because in my life it's kind of the opposite where I know more July Leos than I do August Leos. But I do, my family. So my grandfather, he was July. I have two aunts that are let me not say that. One aunt that's July. I have a couple cousins that are July, friends that are July. But I think too, what's so interesting about the order of the zodiac, I think you're spot on though with what you're saying because by the July Leos coming in right after Cancer.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that influence with Cancer, like maybe more of the introspective, like emotional kind of side. Whereas August Leos, you're kind of knocking up on Virgo. Yeah. And, Virgos, I feel like are very business oriented, very driven, to the point you don't have to guess how they're feeling type of people.
Yeah, I was birthed by a Virgo, so I had no choice.
Really? Me too.
But yes, and then my dad was an Aquarius, so that dynamic is very interesting. Birthing a Leo like myself, I don't even understand how my mother dealt with me. So it was a lot. I was a lot, and I think I didn't learn that business savvy to, like you just said about them. Virgos are so perfectionists. They're like the perfectionist people. And I just didn't understand why my mom, she just did everything so perfect. And it was just so like, because I took like a little of that with me as a Leo woman coming birthed by a Virgo woman, like certain things she want me to do, certain things she want me, where I think the appearance wise, I took with some of the Virgo and I put it in with Leo so that would make sense. Because being birthed by one, she kind of taught me things of how to like, this is how you do this business. This is how you, talk. This is how you prepare yourself when you're getting ready to go in the classroom. Like, it was certain little things that she used to drop for me. Because, I sadly lost my mom when I was 17. So, as time went on, I kind of, oh, no, it's fine. But what I think I realized as time went on, what she was trying to prepare me for. But I didn't get it at the time. But I think when you kind of get pushed into that front, I had no choice. So that Leo side and that Virgo side had to come. But yes, the Virgos, I think I took some of that with me, being in the month of August. And then, my mom, she was a September Virgo. So she wasn't even like in August.
Oh, really?
I could feel that energy within myself just even come and exude what I do now,
Right. I totally agree. Yeah, that's what's up. All right. Well, so like you mentioned in the beginning, so I have a couple questions that I've been asking everybody this season. So this first one, I have a feeling it's one sign I know it's not going to be, but I'm curious to know what your answer is. So if you had a ride or die zodiac sign, who would it be? And I'm guessing it's not Scorpio, but
no. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. No, never to the wolf fall off. No, Jesus will have to come and get me. No, but okay. So, are you been saying as a relationship, or are you saying like as in like somebody like friend wise?
That's the great question. Okay, so it could be both. Like, let's say it may be for some, because I've talked to some people that they said relationship wise is one sign, and maybe friendship wise is another sign. And then for some people, it might be, you know, all of the above. They feel like, you know, it's just anything, this one sign. So however, if you want to break it down, relationship, friend wise, that's cool. Yeah.
I would say friend wise, Taurus.
Oh, okay.
Taurus. I love Tauruses. As I've gotten older now, I'm very more close to Tauruses now than any other sign. It used to be like a Cancer a little bit, but I think I kind of, the emotional side was different. But I think, I don't know, Cancer, I think because they help my rising. I'm a Scorpio, so they get along with that. But I would say friendship wise, Taurus. And I say relationship, as I've gotten older now, as the older who I am now, I would say Virgo.
Really? Okay. Yes. Okay, so Virgo and a Taurus. Okay. Now, go ahead.
No, why I'm saying that for, I think, relationship for Virgo, because somebody that I really wanted, I realize it now, it's too late. So we'll talk about that after, Carlos.
Okay.
But all my life, I will say this. I've always known more Virgos. And it's weird because I would think for a long time, you know, I would because I've dated 2 other signs and wasted time. But when it comes down to certain like friendship, a Taurus will really tell you the hardcore truth, and they're a fixed sign like me, and so I think that's why we mesh so well. Because that bull and that Leo, it's like it can like clash, but it's not too much of a clash. The thing about it, I have a lot of Taurus friends that kept it real with me. All of them, every single one of them have kept it 100 with me. They don't really beat around the bush. They really tell you straight up, and they care for you, but they have to be honest with you, and it's gonna be brutal. And that's why I love honesty, and that's me as a Leo. And I think relationship-wise, because I've been around so many Virgos, it's like I just know them all my life. And, you know, I have a sister who's a Virgo. She's an August Virgo. My mom was September Virgo. And then I had an aunt who was a Virgo. So, like, I've grown up knowing so many Virgos, and I went to school with so many, and I'm like, I can't get away from them. So I think that could be fine. It's a guy who I really cared about, and he is a Virgo. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, so again, another thing I feel like we agree on, because I always tell people that Virgos, now I will say for me, relationship wise, I never really hit it off with a Virgo. Great friends. Now, friends, like amazing friends. But I do feel like if there was a poll for the most people on earth, like the most Virgos would get it.
Virgos will win. That's what. There you go. Thank you.
It's so many Virgos. It's so many, and I think next probably would maybe be Cancer, because I know a ton of Cancers.
I don't. You know what's great? I don't.
Really?
No.
Really? That's
interesting. I would say the next would probably be Aquarius.
Really? You think so? Huh.
What? I know a lot of them. A lot of my family. My family's single one. So I mean, yeah.
Hey. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Virgos would dominate. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so many Virgos. Yeah, they just everywhere.
Child, you think they run the world? Oh my God! Look,
right. So, and I take it that, so this was a question I asked last season, but I'll go ahead and ask it because I feel like it's appropriate for this episode. Last season, the question I was asking everybody was, which sign is the one you will run from? So I'm guessing it's Scorpio.
Facts. Facts. Run for the hills. My mom told me, and I've been consistent ever since. So I'm good. And I've never dated one. So yeah.
Never.
And you know what? Can I add another one?
Yeah.
It's another one too. Gemini. I would never date a Gemini ever again in my life. Never. No.
Really? Oh, so you have dated one and it was a bad experience.
It was bad. Soulmate, karmic, done deal. God bless.
Really?
Yes.
And you know what? So another interesting thing is so Geminis, I feel like I click with very well, but it's usually on a friendship level. Now, I will say I've never seriously dated a Gemini.
They're psychotic and they have the double twins.
So the twin thing is real.
Oh, 100%. Like I got both sides. Yeah. Especially when you piss them off. Oh, they're gonna show the lying side. It's like I'm gonna be lying to you. So prepare, sister girl. Look, But you know, hey, I mean, you live and you learn, and I felt that. I think with that relationship, it just taught me how to be protective of your heart. And I think I was so open. And like I said, I know we're talking about other signs, but I think with Leo's, the trait I possess, if you lie to me, it's like I'm done. And you know, Leos, we're so loyal. Like we're loyal to a T. We're loyal to like a fault when we know that people done us wrong. And I hate that because at the end of the day, it's not fair to the ones who really, really do care and love. We get burned in the process, but sometimes it comes with the territory. And when you've been done like that, it's like you really are super guarded. And I think with Leos, when you do that, it's like the trust factor is like, no, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah. No. I agree. And I feel like, and you kind of led me into my next question. I feel like that's a thing that Leo and Aquarius really share in common, because Aquarius gets a rap, and I'm sure you've heard this before. We are like, I've heard some people say we're like Casper of the Zodiac. You know, we ghost. We, you know, we don't feel emotionally. We're not empathetic. You know, none of that. And the thing I think people don't understand about Aquarius is we do care and we do have emotions, but once we reach that breaking point, it can be like you never existed.
That's me.
And see, I feel like Leo is the same way.
Oh, oh yeah, you're beneath me. You're beneath me. You're beneath me. I just like I just look the other way. Like you just never were there in my life. It's just like you don't exist. Yeah. And when you get to that point, especially when you know, especially because we're so dominant, and I think we always have to be like the one to have the out appearance, and then when you know you've been done wrong to, it's like, yeah, I have to. You're non-existent. It's like you're not important. You don't acknowledge. I don't acknowledge your presence.
Right.
Because it's like, you know, you've done the one thing that I've hurt the most, or that hurt me the most is loyalty. And when you break loyalty, it's like, yeah. Because when we're so down for our friends, we're so protective of that relationship, it's hard to get it back when it's been fractured.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
But I know y'all ghosts.
According to what people say, they say that we can't commit. We don't. We're not in tune with people's emotions, and we don't care about people's emotions. And I was like, what? I don't.
You think it's the men or you think it's women?
You know what? I feel like it's more so the men get that rap than the women do. If I'm being honest, because that's
right.
So that's why I started this show, because now it's been like a couple of years. I was part of this podcast called Brown Liquor and Cigars, and on the show, I was always the nice guy. That's how people looked at me. They were like, oh, okay, with that, or either it depends, because that was my answer for everything. Because I really do think that certain situations you can't say, oh, it's definitely going to be this or definitely going to be that, because it kind of depends on the variable. And so we got to talking about conflict in relationships, and I said, well, if I'm really heated, I might need to take a minute or two to withdraw a little bit, because I don't want to say anything out of turn or something that I'll regret. And so the two other guests on the show, which is so crazy how it happened, because they ended up being the first guest of this podcast when I started it. But they asked me, they said, well, how long are you taking when you're in this angry period? And I said, well, again, it depends. You know, if it's something I'm a little angry about, I might be cool in an hour. I said, but if I'm really, really upset, then, you know, it might be 2, 3, you know, it could be 5 days.
Yeah.
Chastity, when I said 5 days, they were like, what? I got all these messages. People were like, how are you not talking in 5 days? And I think people misunderstood what I was saying, because I'm not saying I'm mute during the 5 days. I'm still talking and communicating, but I might not be able to fully address everything that happened and everything that I'm feeling, because I'm still processing.
Yeah, see, me, it's a whole, you may get 5 years fooling with me.
Oh, so, see?
I'm a cutthroat girl. I'm like, once you do me wrong, it's a wrap. It's like, nah. And actually, I have done that. I have done that to people that you done me wrong. I won't speak to you probably 8 years. So, I mean, it can go for years for me. But I think now, as the person I am, I have grew out of that and I've learned to forgive. So I think for me, that rising of the Scorpio, being mysterious and, you know, trying to do certain things, kind of not too much in a bad way, but just being closed off kind of hurts you in the process, because I feel for me, when you let certain things, you know, overshadow what you know you can bring to the table, and you don't want to ruin relationships, you learn how to make peace with that. And I think that's the part I've learned to forgive for myself, because I really, really have cut people off and I haven't spoken to them in years. But I think since I've been back at home recently, it's kind of made me open my eyes to just learning how life is. Sometimes without the people that you haven't spoken to, but at the end of the day, is stuff that happened in the past, you have to let it go. And so for me, you have to understand to forgive. But for me, you said 5 days and maybe years, because I'm a years girl. Like I gotta give you years. I don't give you months or days. I give you years.
So hey, so they should feel like, hey, 5 days for me is nothing compared to
compared to me, I'm a little bit like non-existent.
Okay. And so so that's interesting, because so two things. So the reason why I popped this thing up here is this one thing is because I'm curious, and it sounds like maybe you've already said it. When people think of Leo, what is the thing that you think people maybe kind of think, I don't know, or maybe make them a little hesitant towards
we have
Leo?
An ego. We have an ego.
Okay. The ego. Okay.
I think it's not even so much of the, and I had to sit back and think myself. I was like, am I very egotistical or powerful? In some ways, yes, but I think it depends on the situation, wherever I'm at. And I was reading something where this lady was saying about how egos, like, sometimes when they're at certain places, it doesn't even have to be them, like, even showing off. It's just like they exude, like, your presence. Like, they can just walk in the room and just be like, wow. And I remember at times, I think I would maybe, probably at even events, or maybe I may have an outfit on, or I just be in my heels, and everybody would just be like, oh, there goes Chasity. Like, she's that girl. Like, her hair is on point. My hair now, I don't even really wear my real hair out like this. But when people see that, or just see certain things about you, or just, you know, you're really down to earth, or you just really chill, it's like, wow, she's not who we thought she is. So sometimes everybody gets this impression that, oh, well, Leo can just be like, oh, out there. No, it's just the energy that we exude, that exudes like a leadership quality of, you know, having that, like, yeah, you know, I'm that girl, but I don't have to show you that girl. You know, we really chill. And I think the ego side they get, because, oh, we hear you leak ego. Oh, there go the ego girl. She got that pride going on. I'm like, you didn't even get to know me. You just judging me because of a sign. So, you know, just the question of ego. I think the men have it more than the women, because we like to, if we're going to be proper, it's in the relationship status. I don't think it's in the, you know, as a like, I think the relationship wise, there's that ego of, you know, you have to make me feel good, or make me feel like, you know, in some ways I'm the girl. And it's not even really just the gifts per se, because people think, oh, we just about gifts. It's about just showing the littlest thing that can mean something in the whole wide world that makes our heart just melt. And we give you that.
Right. Okay. I love that. That's dope. And I posted something earlier, and it was this funny reel that I saw. I said, oh, I got to use this to post for the podcast. And so the guy, I think his name is Chester, and he does like a lot of like spoofs and just like little funny things about the zodiac. He mentioned about Leo being the main character. They want to be the main character of the story. And I think what you said is spot on. I don't think it's so much that. I think it's some people just have a certain presence. And I feel like in a lot of cases, when a Leo walks in the room, you probably are going to know before they even say anything.
Yeah.
In most cases.
It does. And we're the center of the universe. So we have no look. When I just said about you introducing myself, I said, oh, thank you. Like, I just appreciate that so much. Thank you. But it's just that, and then everybody like, oh, here she go. No, it's not that. The thing about it is we just appreciate that you acknowledge us. And it's just even a point of just even showing gratitude, because we do the same, I think, for our partners and our friends. The gratitude goes so many ways. And people just think that's ego, but it's really not ego. It's just that we understand that you acknowledge us, and our presence exudes. And like I said, you know, Leo is the sun. So anything that centers around the sun exudes a presence. So my presence, you know, if it comes off that way, then hey, I can't control that. That's just the energy that I feel that God gave me. And just like just showing about being dedicated to something, that's what it meant to me. I mean, I was like the first in my family. And I think, even being the black sheep of my family, and I'm not, trying to put nobody on blast, but for me, for myself, I always wanted to do things different from everybody else. I wasn't trying to be in the crowd. I always wanted to just be somebody different. I didn't know what it was or what it was in my life, Carlos, but I always wanted to just focus on, just doing the greatest things in my life and accomplishing it. Sometimes I had to leave people in the dust. But as a Leo woman, I think a Leo in general, we just have that leadership quality to do us and nobody else. So if people have to fall by the wayside, or they call it like, knock people down, I think in the good way of knocking people down is you're doing it to be in the greater good of something else or greater service of your life. Now, the bad side of the ego of a Leo is they're hurting people in the process while they're trying to be great. But I go by the good side. So,
Gotcha. Okay, that's what's up.
I'm not the evil Leo. Don't do that. A lot of people that love saying we
so you're
evil,
not that, right? Yeah. And so I definitely want us to talk about the music side too, and your channel and everything. So I guess kind of leading into that a little bit. I don't know if you've seen it, but Jennifer Lopez, who you mentioned, is a Leo. Now she's spun the block with Ben Affleck. They got back together. Now they're married and everything. And so he's a Leo, which I didn't realize that until I had looked it up. And so, well, I guess two questions. The first question is, I was curious if you had seen her. I don't know if you would call it a visual album or it's
talking about the movie that
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not, now I will say, I don't think that J-Lo is the best singer, but she does have a lot of songs that I like. And I feel like she's a bomb dancer. I mean, like she can dance her ass off. But that mini movie or whatever it was that she put out, that was like, I was really kind of blown away, to be honest. It was top tier production. Like, wow. I mean, it felt like you were just watching this super long, big budget music video. Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. And she has a segment in there where she mentions, she talks about the Zodiac, like when she has some of the guest stars and stuff like that. And I would be just interested to know what you think about it if you get a chance to watch it, because just knowing, our discussions about music and things like that, just the way I've never seen, to be honest, an album roll out in that way, where somebody paired the visuals. And I know like when Beyonce did B-Day, she had a video for every album. Right. But I got to say, I've never seen anything like this before, where it was just, everything was just seamless, like back to back, the way she did it. I mean, she killed it. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Now, the songs themselves, I can't say I was just so crazy about all of the songs or the album, but production was cool. I liked it. Yeah. But what I want to know too is, do you think two Leos can make it in a relationship?
To be honest, to me personally, no. But some people think they can because they know each other. But a Leo man, I would never date because they bring the name of a Leo. No, dear God in heaven, no.
Okay, so no Leos and no Scorpios.
No.
And no Geminis.
And no Pisces. So those four, no.
Oh, no Pisces. Okay, now what's the deal with the Pisces?
No, no. Anything really? Water looking, no. I'm good. I pass.
No water.
And look, y'all, it's no shade to the zodiac signs. No. But in all honesty, to me, I would say in some ways it depends on what you like. I guess in so many ways I heard they do get along because they have this leadership qualities, both Leo men and Leo women. But I think the ego of a Leo man is going to hurt the ego of a Leo woman. And I'm my personal opinion, just my personal opinion. I would never date a Leo man because for me, I'm very powerful. I'm sorry. I like my space. I just like being the center of attention. Now, this is where the center of attention kicks in for me. Like, I have to be the center of attention. Like, the only person I think I can give an exception to, but he's too young for me, is Jalen Hurts. He's a Leo. He's fine. He's the quintessential man of a what? He's a quintessential man of a Leo man. Like,
I didn't know he was a Leo.
Huh?
I didn't know he was a Leo.
Oh yeah, he's a Leo. Yes, he is a Leo, but he's too young for me. So but no, somebody like that I can see, but I would say two Leos together, I think that it's just a hard combination because the egos of both their leadership quality is great and it can work business wise, but I think relationship wise it can kind of fizzle out, in my personal opinion. I think for me, I just could not date a Leo man because it's just their ego and they're all about money, and I get it, and they're all about certain things. But the Leo woman, we want to be kind of like the submissive type too in our relationship. And I think some Leo men, they like to have their cake and eat it too. And I'm just not with the craziness. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I just couldn't date them. And I'm not dating my twin. No.
But not anymore. Oh no.
I would never date. Oh, child, I never have. So I never dated the twin if I wanted to. So no. Chasity doesn't date Leo. Sorry, that's just not my stilo. And I hope God doesn't strike me with that. But I'm just saying, it has not come my way. I hope it my way. It just doesn't work. I mean, for some people it can. J-Lo been probably, so I don't know. But for me, I just no.
Yeah, but you know, you bring up something interesting though, because what you said, I think is very true of the Leo women that I know, and even for J-Lo, from what I can see. There's this really cool dynamic I think that Leo women have where they're in business, you know, very powerful, very headstrong. And not to say that in relationships you're any less powerful. I'm not saying that at all. No. But I do think there is this desire to really let the man lead in a relationship. And you could, in her documentary, that was evident that she was looking for that type of relationship with a guy.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm shocked with J-Lo because, like you said, J-Lo is very business wise. Oh, she supersedes that. You're not gonna come through her business now. And I'm like that for 5 degrees. I just was like, I'm always a person to do things on my own, especially with the business. And I remember a time when I was kind of like messed up in school for a little bit, and I seen that was messing with my stuff. The Leo in me was like, oh no, you're messing with my money, my success. Like when that gets like tethered and you getting teased with that, I was like, yeah, you're not messing that up. And I just made sure I had to bounce back real quick, and I bounced back amazingly. So with that along, when you see things in your way that can kind of like, you know, knock you off your shine, you gotta cut it off. So that's why I have this cut mentality. Like, you really can't have things messing up when you know that you're on a rotation of having your success, having things coming. I always say this too. You can't have your social life, your business life, and your personal intertwine with each other, because once they intertwine, so like for me, I just can't have those like that.
Yeah, I understand. That is true. I've had to learn that the hard way a couple of times, but yeah, that's true. That is so true. I agree. Yeah, so
can't be a Leo.
Just can't be that.
No.
I love it. That's funny. So the music, okay. So like I mentioned earlier, because we've had, and it's funny because whenever I see your posts about music, I'm like, she gets it. And like that's what I'd be thinking for real, because it's like we had discussions, you know, even before we went live or before we started recording this episode. But it's rare that I am able to even have discussions, period, with people who you know, really or 90s culture music, like when it comes to R&B, even like early 2000s, like some of the artists and songwriters and producers that you've interviewed. So what is it about music that really piqued your interest? Was it like one thing in life, or were you always drawn to music? Or
Yeah, for me, I can say for myself, I always was drawn to music, and I would even say this myself. I was just thinking it's so crazy that you would talk about this, cause I was saying to myself, I was telling one of my friends named Jamal, hey Jamal, if you ever see this, love you. When it comes down to music, I was telling him the first time I think music really touched me was TLC's Crazy Sexy Cool album when I was 5 years old. I
That
was
was
saying
one of the ones for me too.
And people don't understand. I'm like, you just had to be there. And I was like 5 or 6. I can vividly remember as a little girl. And I remember I wasn't in school at the time. So my mom, I wasn't in pre-care or kindergarten. I was at daycare. And I remember our daycare owner, whatever like that, he owned this like big daycare, and he would take all the kids, like, and it was a lot of inner city kids because I was living in Dallas, Texas. And I remember he was taking us to go bowling, and it was pouring rain outside, and we had to hurry up and run and catch the bus. So we were making all this noise, cutting up, and then all of a sudden, he puts on one of our daycare teachers put on. They was like, "Y'all want to listen to music?" We was like, "Yeah." So all of a sudden, they just turned up TLC's "Creep," and all the little kids started dancing to that. And when I seen that, that touched my heart. And when I was living in some other apartments when I was 6, I was hanging out with this 11-year-old girl. I don't know why, but I just hung out with her in the apartment. And yeah, it was just weird. And she was like, "You want to come over my house?" And she was like, I was like, I think second grade. And she was like in 5th. And I was just hanging out here because we went to the same elementary school. And she was like, "I got this album called Crazy Sexy Cool by TLC." I said, "Oh, what's this?" And when she put Creep on, I said I knew what it was. It was, I may love Destiny's Child, and I give them all the credit. Like, that's my favorite girl group. But when it comes down to the interest of peak of music, it was TLC. That album was always a staple in my life. And then Brandy was the one who really like changed my life too. When I snuck in my mom's room one day, she had these cassettes on the floor. I was sneaking around being bad, being the Leo I am, doing what I want to do. And yes, being a Leo. And she just had these cassettes, and I was like, well, you know, as a little child, you know, children see what their parents do, so they're going to mimic what they do. So if a child was looking at something and she sees a tape, she's going to pick it up off the floor and just play it like their mom played it. So when I played it, I just heard this beautiful voice that just sung, "I would like to get to know what I could be, the kind of girl that you be." And I was like, what is this? And come to find out, it was "I Want to Be Down" by Brandy. And it changed my life. Now, she was one who really liked me, peak interest of a singer. And she was just, her trajectory at 6 years old for me touched my heart, because I never knew that cassette tape that I messed up was the girl who I heard. And then I just realized it was her at 7 years old, and it changed my life.
Wow.
So those two in general were the vision of music. And I think when I moved back to Louisiana, I got to know blues and Johnny Taylor and, you know, Muddy Waters. All these people that really, really peak interest in my life really made me understand the core of music. And that's really, TLC was the game changer for me and changed my life.
They were one of the ones for me too, because I remember, I think I was maybe 9, 10 when Crazy Sexy Cool came out. And I had heard some of the other songs when I was younger, like, you know, "Ain't Too Proud to Beg" and "What About Your Friends." I like those songs too. But I kind of, and I was always, a fan of them. But when Creep came out, then I was like, oh, okay, now I want to hear all the old stuff. And because at that time, you didn't hear, well, for one thing, with the video, I feel like the pajamas were baggy, but it was still sexy. And you didn't see that. You didn't see, because at that time you had En Vogue, you had SWV, you had all these girl groups who were wearing tight clothes. You know, they were wearing, you know, dresses, heels, you know, that was kind of like the uniform back then for a lot of girl groups. And when TLC came out, and then plus the subject matter of the song, that's the first song I can remember where a girl group really glorified cheating. And it was, but they made it cool. Because they weren't in the corner like, "Oh, why he do me wrong? You know, I'm so sad." They were like, "Okay, you know," there even songs like, to me, Chloe Bailey, I love her too. That song she made, "Cheat Back."
Oh,
in concept, that's Creep to me. I mean, it's the same concept.
I definitely agree with that, because when you have songs that you know how we don't understand the meaning of it, but the production is so top tier.
Yeah.
Like you don't even think about, like, I was talking to my friend Jared, we were talking last year about the 25th anniversary of Brandy's Never Say Never. We sitting up there singing Sitting on Top of the World, and it was a sad song. But the beat is so upbeat, you're not gonna understand that she wasn't even happy. And threw you for a loop, and that's why I said for Creed, even though I'm at 5, 6 years old dancing to the dance that's on the video, we not knowing that it's talking about cheating on the person that cheated on you. I'm like, what? But I think when Dallas Austin, and I have to shout him out, when he did those horns on that production, I think right there it changed because it meshed the old generation, new generation, and, you know, brought it together. I think that was just amazing, because I don't think people at that time, like, we had instrumentation that was deep, but I think for the horns for a girl group to have, and then we're talking about Crazy Sexy Cool was the first album from a girl group to go diamond, and this is before the Supremes and all the other girl groups before. Nobody never got a diamond album, so that right there just really was a game changer. But for me, that really opened the doors for people to have content, like you said, to really make sure that just because you're in a girl group, you can make a difference. Like Waterfalls made the difference, I think, for them in general, because it took them universal. So and to this day, people still sing Waterfalls. So yeah,
that's true. That's true. Wow, that's cool. And so your love for music, you know, obviously started at a really young age. And then I was reading the bio, and I was like, for your YouTube channel for Midnight R&B Edition. And so even though knowing from our interaction that you love music, I didn't make the connection until I read your bio that your channel is based on, in part, Midnight Love, which I feel like a lot of these kids, they don't even know what that is. And when I read that, I was like, oh, that's cool, because Midnight Love was, back in the day, that was like all the R&B slow jams was, you know, you made it if you were in that rotation for R&B for Midnight Love.
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, it was a homage to Midnight Love, yes, 100%. Because even though, like you said, it started in the 80s, it really, really like dominated in the 90s. And for me, I used to love watching that show like in the late 90s, because I knew about it. Like, you know, I was picking there here and there, but you know, me being young, I'm MTV, BET, and you know, all this other. When I heard about Midnight Love when I was, you know, young and, you know, getting in my preteens, I'm like, ooh, I like this. I like ballads. I'm a ballad type of girl, so that's another reason why I like, you know, the Quiet Storm type of thing. So when I seen that, I was like, oh my God, I would love to do something, because I used to be a Brandy fan page. So that's how it started. I opened my doors when I did Never. So that album really opened my doors to being an interviewer. So when I seen that kind of change, I was like, well, I think I should do this as like an entrepreneur, as my own thing. So I was like, I love music. I love ballads. What can I make of this? And then I thought, I was like, oh, Midnight Love Edition. So I was Midnight Love Edition back then. And then I was like, I don't want it to be like that, because then my name could be taken. So I was like, well, since I love R&B, I might as well do Midnight R&B Edition. And so that's where the name came. And then that's when it was born. And you know, that right there opened the doors for me to just, you know, love music, but love R&B music, because I feel like we're at the bottom of the totem pole all the time. And because we don't get the recognition like a pop song or other things like that, I wanted to make sure that albums of R&B was always recognized for what they did. And the people who made, not just the artists, but you have songwriters and producers who really played a huge role in what they do. A lot of people don't give producers and songwriters the credit. So that's why, you know, I made my platform to help people get the understanding, but not even the knowledge of a body of work, but the knowledge of the person, of their legacy, and what they did too.
And I love that, how you do on your platform and like on Instagram, on your account, and how you've been posting. And I feel like we're living in such a cool time. And like you said earlier, you just had to be there during those moments, because now we're seeing 20, 25, 30 anniversaries of these classic albums. And people are still listening to them. They're still being sampled. They're still, you know, even these newer artists, they're still paying homage to, like, and I know this isn't R&B, but the video that Cardi B just came out with for the song Like What, and how she kind of paid tribute to Missy the She's a Bitch song, and then she paid tribute to Lil Kim in the chinchilla coat, and you know, all that was like 90s culture.
Yeah. With the way she had that lipstick looking crazy. No shade, love you, Cardi girl. But the lipstick you had, that was so 90s. I'm like, Cardi B girl.
It was not.
You know, I love her. I love me some Cardi, but I was like, that lipstick was so 90s. I was like, but yeah, that 90s, the aesthetic that she was on, yeah, I can see it 100%. She was paying huge homage. I mean, the production alone for Missy was enough. And I know she's a big Missy fan, so she loves Missy Elliott. Like, that's one of her #1 rappers she loves. So I can see, and I think for Cardi, she's always been that girl to always kind of push the envelope in her videos. And I know for sure everything she's done is always homage to the ladies of hip hop. And that's why I love people like her, because we've always said about Cardi B, like, you may quote unquote don't like the way she talk, whatever like that, but when it comes down to paying respect for the people that came before, she is one of those girls that does it. And that's why my platform, Midnight R&B Edition, does the same thing, but in a R&B type of way, rhythm and blues, and just, you know, giving people the respect that deserve it. Like, I've interviewed people that work with Vanessa Williams, and people don't even talk about Vanessa Williams. Like, she was huge, but, you know, they go her as an actress, but it's people like my platform to make sure that, no, just because she was an actress, she did R&B music too. So, you know, you have to tie together what their legacy is all about. So my personal opinion, you know, Midnight R&B Edition, you know, I may not used to have the platform on Instagram like I used to, but I'm thankful enough that people still go to my page and just make sure that, you know, they give people that respect, or just say, hey, you know, I didn't know this person, but I appreciate you, you know, just honoring them, because sometimes we always give the artists the credit, but the singers and songwriters are the reason why, or producers are the reason why they do what they do. So it takes a team. It takes a team.
That's true. That's true. No, I definitely, like I said, I love your channel and I want to spread the word. I'll be linking it here in the podcast episode description, because it's dope. I mean, I saw, of course, you're welcome. I saw your interviews and things that you've done. So I'm just curious. So with, and maybe you wouldn't be able to say a favorite one that you've done. If you do have one, that's cool, but I don't want to make nobody mad. So you maybe tell me off air. But what was there? I will ask you, was there a piece of information that you got in any of your interviews about an artist or songwriter or producer that you felt like just blew you away more than any other interview?
That is a good. Nobody has never asked me that. That is a good question. I'm trying to think, because I've done a lot of interviews, so it's been a long time. I'm trying to think who was really like gave me that wow moment. If I had to think, you know what, I will say this. I don't even think it was a wow moment. It was just like a tearful moment, because I never thought that, you know, things I say can really touch people's heart, or the information I find. I would say for Gloria Stewart, and I don't know, because I know she's somewhat she's in and out, but she wrote for Toni Braxton. She was a co-writer for I Love Me Some Him off Secrets. And when I gave her her flowers about a quote that Billboard said about it, she never knew. And she really cried. And I was like, oh, I didn't know I really touched her.
Wow.
Because I didn't think that, you know, my research or what I do or give people the credit was really important to them. Because like I told you, Carlos, these people don't know. They just making music and just they have to keep going, because when people are in the music industry, they are there to make, you know, the music, and they just have to keep going. It's like a machine. We always said the music industry has a machine, but they don't understand the flowers that's given to them, or the understanding like, wow, I really did make an impact. They're not understanding how big these songs are, or the impact that people are getting. So when you see things like pieces like Billboard or Vibe magazine, or just any of that nature to make you understand why they do what they do, it was my job to always let them understand that, hey, just because you made one hit or multiple hits, you mean something in the music industry. And I felt like, and I love somebody told me this, they was like, you really heal a lot of people. And I think that touched me a lot too. When people say that I heal them, because we know what this industry does to some people, and, you know, it gives them, you know, a good experience or a bad experience. But for me, I want to make sure that no matter what is happening, whatever happens, if something happens to them, that on my platform, their legacy means something. And I hope that their healing of what they went through at the time when they made music was to understand that their legacy means something and it's important.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That's so true. Wow. Yes. That's okay. So yeah, I can definitely see why that would be your top moment, because I would imagine for someone like you, and we talked about this a little bit too before the show started or before I hit record, is what I really love about your platform is that you do the work and you do the research, and it's evident by the questions that you ask. And a lot of times I'll watch an interview and I might be really excited because it's about an artist or songwriter producer that I really love. And a lot of times I'm let down when I watch it because I'm thinking, oh, well, I already knew all the information that they're talking about, or it's nothing new here, or it's annoying because you can tell that the interviewer doesn't know. So to give you an example, I saw an interview that Mary J. Blige did. I think it was either today or yesterday. And she was on Today's Show, one of those shows. And the interviewer said, and it could have just been a slip, but I got the impression that she really did get it wrong.
I just saw
yeah. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, this is the 30th anniversary of your debut album. And I started thinking, I was like, but I thought What's the 411 came out in 92.
It did.
And she was like, no, that was My Life. And that was her second album. So it's like, that's something just a simple Google search would have told you.
Yeah.
That's not her first album. So I feel like the heart of, I guess it would be journalism in a way, or just researching before you do these interviews. A lot of people don't have that. And I think that's what I really love about your platform, is that you can tell the questions that you ask, like you really have a heart for the music and you really are invested in the people that you have on the platform.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I'm a numbers girl, so for me getting my degree in mathematics, I have no choice. So nobody's not gonna come for my neck. But definitely for sure. Like, I mean, like you said, something simple like that, for that to be, the wrong information, it can hurt somebody. And it's not even the point they weren't trying to be like, not messy or nothing. It's just the thing about it. You have to understand, when you're giving somebody to come on your platform their time and their day, you need to understand what it means to them and what it means to you. And I've always told people, like, don't get me wrong, I would even say this, and he's going, well, he knows he loves me. His name, one of the super producers, Focus. I'm going to say, out of all the interviews, I would say for him, he was the one where I had to be on my A game, where I needed to make sure I knew, like, he was like, okay, like, do you X, Y, and Z? Like, he was like, not trying to test me, but he was trying to understand, like, why does this girl want me on her platform? And I think when he understand what I explained and broke down of his legacy, it was like, I have a lot of respect for you. I was like, wow, because I didn't know that I had to prove myself to people that, you have this platform, but why do you want me on this platform? And I think for him, like, and then the thing, what I love to a lot of my interviewers do, like, they have so many gems that they have kept in the vault, they'll drop it on my platform, because even though probably before they never told me anything, but they was like, I don't tell nobody this, but because you, that right there is like, boom, I did my job. Because they didn't, so because you're on your A game and you're doing these interviews and understanding that the celebration of an album is great, but what are you celebrating for? Are you celebrating the artist, or are you celebrating the person that you're interviewing? So when I have to marriage the two together, it's like, okay, Chasity, like, it's great that you want to talk about Usher's Here I Stand, but what did Rel do to make his legacy? And he was really appreciating, like, he didn't even know that he gave Usher his first R&B airplay #1 hit, and he was like, I did what? I said, yes. I did my research and I found all your songs.
Wow, he didn't even know.
He didn't even know. And after all these years, I gave him his flowers. And he was like, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. So it's just little stuff like that. You just don't never know. And that's why I said, doing my research, I have to make sure that I'm giving the right information, because if not, they can, check me. And it's like you said, it's journalistic integrity. Like, I may not be a journalist, but I have the integrity of making sure that my information is correct. But not even that, I feel like the history has to be completed to make sure R&B is always respected. So I just can't have like on my platform, and I'm looking dumb, and they looking at me like, girl, you'll never be on my platform again. So I'm like, okay, I got my game. But it's just it's just the respect level. These people have worked hard, and you just want to make sure they get their flowers, and That's what my platform does. Give people their flowers.
Wow. Yeah, it does for sure. It does, and it's like I say, it's evident. And you, as far as you mentioned, and people dropping nuggets and maybe they haven't said, like when I watched the interview you did on Carson Lowe, I didn't. So I expected to definitely learn things about him because I didn't really know too much about him, other than I knew that he was one of the producers on the My Life song. But I didn't expect to get any information about TLC that I was unaware of because I'm a huge fan of them. But when he started talking about those Easter eggs and she, I was like, what? I had never heard that story. Never. But but when he said it, it was like, wow, that's got to feel great that on your platform, he dropped that kind of a nugget.
Yeah.
For people to see. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and that's what I love. They don't have to tell me this information. They can keep all this to themselves and, you know, tell other people or go on other people's platform. But for me, it's not even the point of them telling me extra gems. It's the point of me, like, I just want to make sure that whatever you've done or your legacy is open up to the world, that you were a part of something that was legendary. And I think when people saw it, and it was crazy because, you know, I have an interview in 7 months at that time. People were just excited in general. I came back. I was like, wait a minute, y'all. I'm letting these, let my, like, look, I love all my R&B platforms and stuff like that because I'm proud that they still keep it going. But I feel like sometimes for me, I felt like I wasn't, not saying that my best, but I just felt like, you know, maybe it wasn't my time at the moment. But I think when I came back and kind of made that resurgence a little bit or just dropped that TLC, everybody was just like, wait a minute, you're coming back? I'm like, well, hold up, y'all. Like, wait. Let get back into the realm of things. But for me, I was really proud that people just knew that I was coming back just for something. So it was great.
Well, I think you should keep it going for real. I loved it. And
I'm like, oh Lord, we're gonna pray about it. We're gonna definitely pray. But to this day, I still have John B. That's my family. That's my family. Like they still to this day. So when you still have the people that you interview on your platform still follow you, I'm like, I'm good. I'm great.
Yeah. You know you've done your job at that point.
Yes, I did very well.
yes, that's right.
That's always going to happen.
That's right. Cool. Well, hey, I can't believe we've already hit an hour. So I know your time is precious. I just had this one last segment before we close out. And so this is a game that I play with everybody. It's called Dead in the Water. And so I'll give you 5 questions. Thank you. And it's going to be this or that themed. So instead of you telling me the one you like the best, you'll tell me the one that you would throw back in the water or the one that you like the least, pretty much.
Okay. So it's the one I like the least.
Yes. Which one you would basically throw away. So I try to tailor it to each person that I have. Tailored to that person.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I'll load up this first one. We've been talking about this today, so I'm interested to see what your answer is for this. So crazy, sexy, cool, or fan mail, if you got to get rid of one, which one would it be?
Oh, Lord. Carl, I love you so much. But ain't no way.
I think I know where this is going.
I'm about to throw that red over that blue. I love you, but fan mail, you gotta go. Goodbye.
I love fan mail too, but yeah, that crazy, sexy, cool is top tier right there. Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right, so wasabi or sriracha? Out of those two, which one would you get rid of?
Okay, I don't know one of them, so I'm gonna get rid of one. I don't know what it is, but wasabi, I don't even know you.
It's like at the Asian restaurants, the little green pasty looking stuff. It's like super spicy, but it's got like a little. It's spicy. So I will say. So funny, quick story. If you do try it, get a very, when I say very small, like super small amount, because the small amount goes a long way. First time I tried wasabi, I had about a dime size amount of wasabi. It damn near blew my nose off. It was just.
No. And I'm from Louisiana. Ain't no way you ain't gonna blow my nose off. Oh no.
My eyes was watering, and yeah, it was bad.
We're gonna keep sriracha that. I do know sriracha, so yeah, we'll keep it that.
We'll keep that one. Okay. All right. Bye, sriracha. All right. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit too. Now, Midnight Love or 106 in Park, which one are you throwing away?
You tried it. Really? Oh Lord.
I mean, I pretty much know which one you're gonna pick, but
yeah, I might have to. Like 106 in Park, you gotta go. Ain't no way. Yeah. Midnight Love is the foundation of who I am. I would never. No.
Yes. Okay. All right. I figured that's the one.
I still love y'all. Look.
Yeah. But hey, y'all gotta go.
Oh man.
All right. So 112 or Jagged Edge?
Wow. That's interesting. Nobody has never asked me that. Oh, because I love this song so much. And technically, well, I don't want to get too personal. We're not gonna get deep. For personal reasons, I respect them, but I do love a song by them a lot. But I would have to get rid of 112.
Okay, you have to get rid of them. Okay.
I would get rid of. I love Jagged Edge, and the reason why I gave them an edge because of Walk Right Out of Heaven, but that's a personal thing. Like, yeah, they didn't want. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
You said Walk Out of Heaven is a. Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, that's my heart right there. Like nothing ain't. No, that supersedes.
Yeah. I if I had to pick, I probably would say the same thing. I probably would say 112 would go to. I love. It wasn't a big song of theirs, but He Can't Love You, Jagged Edge.
Oh, that's fake.
To this day, if that song come on, I'm like, okay, I'm locked in. I'm gonna listen the whole way through.
Like that sound they brought in too really like ate who they were. That sound where Michael Cox all that, like they really found their groove.
Yeah, they did.
And then too, once they write too, but Jagged Edge, they had big hits they wrote for people. So I mean, not say the 112, but I mean,
yeah, they're known more as writers. I feel like 112 had a couple of people in the group that wrote, but Jagged Edge, it's a group.
Yeah, and they wrote. I think I forgot the two. I can't. Oh God, don't kill me. 112, but two of them wrote for Keisha Cole off her debut. So.
Oh, that's right. I sure did. Yeah.
But Jagged Edge wrote for Tony Braxton off that Heat album. So that's why I say
yeah. Can't really compete with that. Yeah, that's true. All right. And so this is the last one. Pearls or sapphires?
Oh, you really tried it. I'm finna get rid of them. I think I'm finna get rid of my 20 pearls.
They're going away. Right.
No. That's
Hey, I love it.
Y'all tried it.
Hey. All right. Hey, well, I love it. This has been great. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it, Chasity. And again, y'all, please go check out her YouTube channel. You're probably gonna go down a rabbit hole and start watching video after video. Midnight R&B Edition. I'm praying and crossing my fingers that you are gonna bring it back on the regular because it's needed. I feel like it's needed. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate
for sure. Of course. Anything that you want to share, like as closing remarks with the listeners and the viewers about yourself, or maybe even how to deal with Leos or anything like that?
Well, well, first off, I want to thank you, Carlos, from the bottom of my heart, because I love your platform. Love zodiac signs. People used to think when I was young I was crazy, but no, I love what you do for your platform. I think this is the most beautiful thing when you can understand from people's perspective on a zodiac level. But not even that, I thank you from my heart for just having me on your platform. You are definitely needed. I love what you do, and to see you soar, I hope you do beautiful and great things. One thing I do have is I'm getting ready on officially March 23rd. I am officially getting ready to do the 20th anniversary of Usher's album Confessions. That's making 20 years. We're having a Confessions. Yes. So be on the lookout. I'll be dropping a slide. But I'm super excited and for that. So that's one album that is like means so much to me, and you'll find out on March 23rd. But as in other things, just love Leos. I mean, I know it's Pisces season, right? So shout out to y'all Pisces. But no, I'm just joking. No shade. But we are in Pisces season. But all I can say is about Leos, we may have this little crazy, ego side of us, but we really are good down there people. And we just want people to be, happy. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I love it. That's dope. Well, I will definitely be locked in on the 23rd because I want to see this Confessions panel. That's one of my favorite albums, hands down, period. Any genre, R&B, pop, rock, whatever.
Yes. So excited. Yes. Wait for the fire.
Okay, I'm gonna be tuned in. I'm gonna be ready.
Thank y'all. You're gonna be ready to laugh some jokes and a little shade. Hey. Real. That's all I'm just saying.
I love it.
But thank you so much.
Of course. You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching, listening. Thanks for the on-the-go listeners. That's been growing as well on the audio side. Make sure you all tune in next Thursday. I'm going to have Virgo. I know we talked a lot about Virgos tonight. So I'm going to have a male Virgo, one of my close friends that I've known for a long time. He's going to be the guest, Desmond Blair. He will be on for next Thursday. Then after that, we'll have the finale. And then that'll be it until end of May when I'll be back for season 5. So yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But yes. Thanks again, Chasity, and I'll be keeping in touch for sure.
Oh, thank you so much. God bless you, and I hope you do beautiful and soar in beautiful endeavors in your life. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. You're welcome. Thank you, and God bless you too. Yes, for sure. Right. Thank y'all for tuning in.